2455. Dr. Drew is a board-certified physician, an addiction medicine specialist. Next week we got Donnie Osmond and Dave Navarro coming in here, Our Lady Peace, and a few other people. Tonight we have some of the cast and some of the, one of the directors, the only director of Being John Malkovich. That'd be Spike Jones and Orson Bean and Catherine Keener in here tonight. Now, before we get started on this, I was saying this last night. I was watching, I guess it's still called At the Movies.
Right.
The Roger Ebert thing. And Sunday night, he was just raving about this movie. He said he thought it was going to be up there for the Best Picture of the Year. And, I mean, I guess you guys saw that. Lean up, speaking to the mics. Did you see that Sunday night?
No, I heard about it, though. But this is Spike, and I heard about it. But I don't know. That's
I saw it. I see everything for him.
Yes, Orson. And was that not a rave?
It was a rave. The man had to be carried away. I mean, he raved.
And both of them raved about it.
The other guy with the beard raved, too.
Yeah.
The guy from Ain't It Cool News.
Yeah.
Yes, the biggest red-haired man you've ever seen in your life.
Except for Bruce Valanche.
Oh, I don't know. I think he could have put Bruce in him.
A not impossible consideration.
Where were you? I don't think Bruce would have minded that, actually. We've met Bruce. Bruce described Dr. Drew, when we met Bruce Valanche, by the way, who you may know from the Hollywood Squares. He described him as Linda Tripp as Santa Claus.
Bruce Valanche is the new, what was the guy that was in the middle thing in the old days, the one who talked like that?
Paul Lynde.
Paul Lynde.
Yes.
And Paul Lynde would always have a great thing to say. And one time I remember they said to Paul Lynde, we have a question for Paul Lynde, what is a pullet? And he thought for a minute, he said, a little show of affection.
Yeah. Except for the writers thought for an hour before.
Well, of course.
But we don't want to give away any trade secrets. And of course, Drew and I were trying to figure out when the last time, or where we knew Orson Bean from the most from our childhood, and it was To Tell the Truth, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did that for 7 years.
Well, Orson is also director, a writer, a raconteur, and an actor. And so let's talk about this movie. It's in wide release coming November 19th. And it's in a... When is that, by the way? What's the date today?
The 19th will be a week from Thursday.
Week from Thursday.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
And there's already great buzz about this. And it seems like a very unlikely...
No, I'm sorry. 2 weeks from Friday. Right?
All right. The 19th.
But it's out also. It's already out right now in a lot of places, and it comes out in a lot of places on Friday.
Are they hearing this as bad as we're hearing ourselves, or is it just me? Do I need my pills, or am I... that's the button. All right.
You got it?
Yeah.
Now, Spike, when did you become involved with this project?
About, I don't know, 3.5 years ago I first read it, and it's written by a guy named Charlie Kaufman, who lives somewhere near Altadena, Pasadena region.
That's Drew's turf. And you'd been doing videos and commercials, and you were looking for a feature to do?
Yeah.
And at first, when you heard the idea, were you scared of it, or did you think it was bizarre?
No, when I first read the script, I opened the script and said, Being John Malkovich, and I was like, oh, that's a good title. And I didn't really think it would have anything to do with John Malkovich. I just thought it was a good title.
Right.
So lo and behold, I got into it, and I discovered that they just the puppeteer finds a portal into John Malkovich, and
originally they were going to go with Fred Grandy from The Love Boat.
Fred Grandy?
Yeah, but they thought it's a little out of the demo. Let's
he turned it down,
a little.
actually.
Fred turned. He's trying to live down that whole image. Oh, so I really have no idea what the movie is about, other than it's good, it's a comedy, and it's about a porthole. Well, maybe I do know what it's about. There's the 7.5 floor.
yes.
In an office building, a guy finds a hatch, he goes through it, and when he enters that hatch, he is in John Malkovich's head, right?
Yeah.
Basically.
It doesn't matter what it's about. You're better off not knowing what it's about. It's already going into the language. In today's New York Times, Maureen Dowd, who was probably the top political columnist in the country, makes a reference to it, that Gore's support staff is as wacky as going into John Malkovich's head. I mean, it's already going into the language.
And I guess Malkovich, I mean, this is the way to get a big guy like that to do a movie, right? I mean, was he flattered? Yeah. I mean, don't you have to be in it if your name's in the title? Could he have said, "I don't want my name on the title and I'm not doing it"?
Well, only if he would have wanted us stalking him for the next 10 years. And I mean, I guess.
Did he like the script when he first read it?
He thought it was really funny and thought it was smart, and thought the writing was really good and thought it was hilarious.
Did Charles Kaufman know John?
No.
Did he have any? Was he right about him?
Was he right about him?
Is he really? I mean, I don't know how he's portrayed in the movie, but no, he's not.
Well, I think that I don't know if he's right about him. I think it's just basically what he thinks that he might be like, or what people think John might be.
Is he as bizarre as he seems?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's always my theory. My theory is the guys that play sort of bizarre guys and crazy guys on film are basically not acting. He is not acting, right? He's just a bizarre guy.
He's the kind of a guy that if you could pick the homicidal maniac to kill you and your whole family, it would be John.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when there's trouble, they look for John Malkovich.
No,
all right.
He's pretty probably as normal as he is. Crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, crazy doesn't necessarily mean you're bad or mean. Right. It just means crazy. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so he could just be crazy, but a nice guy.
Yeah.
And you know what I can't figure out about crazy guys, though? We always ask this about David Arquette, because he's been on the show a bunch of times.
I love David.
He's crazy. Yeah, he's the nicest guy in the world, but he's nuts. And he's talented, but he's nuts.
Yeah.
And I always wonder, after speaking with him, how he shows up on the set, memorizes his lines, does his scene,
plays a security guard,
plays a small town sheriff, comes back the next day, finishes the movie. You know, how does he do it? And when you talk to him, you wonder if the guy can find the toilet in the 4 minutes that we have for the commercial here.
I really hope that he doesn't just take this.
No, he knows the way I mean this.
I really like the
He's
guy.
nuts. What's he going to do with this information? He can't find the studio. Know where his car keys
It's like
are.
Pat Buchanan said about Hitler. He's not such a bad person.
Right. All right. That's what I mean. Kathy,
Hi.
you're 23.
Yes.
What's going on?
Well, first of all, thanks for taking my call. My boyfriend and I listen to your show every single night, and we absolutely love it.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. I'm a receptionist at an architecture firm, and I collect calls, do the usual stuff, collect mail, and I bring it to everyone's desk. And the last several weeks, I've been catching, there are two partners at the firm, and I've caught one of them surfing the net, looking at, pornography on the screen, and it just really bothers me, and I don't know what to do. It bothers me, it distracts me.
In his office?
In his office, during office hours, and he does it when the other partner...
Yeah, well, what's he going to do, break into his own office so he can look at some internet porn at 4 in the morning? And of course, it's office hours. All right, it's his office, though.
Yeah,
right?
But it's an open office. It's more like a cubicle.
What is it that troubles you? What is the feeling?
Does he sort of present it to you, or do you just sort of happen upon it?
Well, the first time I caught him, he quickly switched over to a drawing that he was working on, and
Okay, all right. Hey, Kathy.
Yeah.
Listen, I know we're living in a time when people aren't supposed to do anything like this, but it's his office, right?
Well, it's not an office. I mean, people
All right,
are watching.
it's his business.
Right.
It's his computer. Right?
Right.
It's his phone. And he pays rent on the place. He's not walking around in his underpants with an erection. Let him look at his porn.
What is it that bothers you about it?
What do you think he's going to do?
What is the feeling that you get?
Well, it bothers me because I'm in a workplace.
What does it bother you personally? Let's just stay out of the whole workplace issue.
We're in a workplace right now. I like my farts half the time. I'm in here. Orson, you're laughing, but it's back me
I
up.
won't laugh when you do
There you
it.
go. It won't be so funny.
Thank God you're not wearing jeans tonight.
You lose an eyebrow. It's not going to be so funny.
But Kenny, what is the feeling you get? Do you feel, is this something, why is this personally an issue for you?
Well, it's just, I have this, I can talk to him. He's my boss.
No. Listen, Kathy, here's what we're asking.
Okay.
We talk to people that have this problem. People that don't have specific or it's personal for you. Why is it personal for you? Most people wouldn't care. They'd walk in, then they'd walk back,
Right.
and that'd be it. Why is this personal for you?
I don't know.
Yeah, you have any experience with this?
Were you objectified in some way at some time in your life?
No.
You weren't
I've
abused?
been abused. My parents are separated, and
Dad ever hit you with a rolled-up penthouse or anything? No.
No, thank God.
All right. Are you religious?
No.
Are you uptight?
No. What?
I love that "are you uptight" question because no one will admit to it, so it's great.
Okay, listen, I don't care. It's his business. But,
Okay, there you go.
I agree. It is his business, but I don't think it's right. I don't feel like I have to tiptoe around,
Oh, you don't. He turned it.
Well,
he
no,
switched
she's
it off.
right. Yeah, she's right. You need to ask him to be respectful of the work environment, and he needs to be.
I actually confronted the other partner, and you know what he said? He said, oh, geez, I can't believe he's doing this, but I don't know what to do about it, so I'm not going to do anything about it.
All right. Well, that's it. Listen, you're receptionist, right?
Yeah.
All right. If you don't, quit. If you don't like it.
Right.
Okay? All right. Yes, just quit. Don't sue anybody. If you can't handle it, quit. I'm sorry for the tough love, but I'm tired of this. I really am. Everybody's got guy's got a poster of a chick in a bikini hanging in his office behind his desk. He's got to take it down because somebody walked past it. I'm just tired of it. You own your own business. You run your own business. You buy your computers. You buy the phones. You lease the office space. You want to look at a little porn. That's your business. The receptionist's getting $6.50 an hour. She doesn't like it. She's been there for 3 months. She can go down the street and go work somewhere else.
It's not like he's showing the pony and the nun on widescreen.
Right. It's not as if he's called everyone in to gather around the computer to see what he's pulled up. I agree there's limits. I don't think the guy should be turning the computer, toward the hall or asking her to come in here and look at something. But if she walks in, he's looking at something and he flicks it over, it's his business.
I was reading some data on sexual harassment.
And she's uptight, and we can hear her voice.
There's something going on with her, but overt sexual harassment, it's interesting. I didn't realize this, but it has a very high probability of both people, the harasser and the harassee, being abused sexually.
Oh, really?
Very high.
So
startling.
The people that are doing the harassing pick out the victims.
Yep.
And that's where their harassment is coming from. Veronica?
Yes.
You're 19.
Yes.
You're on with Orson Bean, Spike Jones, and Catherine Keener, by the way, from Being John Malkovich.
Okay.
All right.
My question is, I'm supposed to start my period on the 18th, and it's the 3rd I haven't. I've taken 2 home pregnancy tests, and they've both come out negative, and I just kind of wanted to get an educated opinion before I went to the doctor. I don't have insurance right now, and I really don't have, any money to spend at all.
When was your last
sorry?
When was your last sexual encounter?
About 2 weeks ago.
And are you on any medication?
No, I'm not.
Nothing?
I'm sorry?
Nothing?
No.
Did you guys use any means of contraception?
Condoms.
Did it break?
Most of the time. No, there's been a few times where we haven't, so I'm wondering.
How about 2 weeks ago?
He lives out of town, so he comes down for the weekends mostly. We probably didn't use a condom maybe twice that weekend.
Twice that weekend.
2 weeks ago.
All right. So
the contraception. Let me clarify something. When Drew asked the "Did you use contraception?" question, it's not ever in your life or what did you use when you're in the Navy. It's 2 weeks ago when the guy was on top of you. Was there anything covering his penis?
Right.
Or are you on the pill or something that might
No,
be
I'm
right?
not on the pill or anything. I'm saying most of the time we use condoms, sometimes we don't.
All right, so 14 days ago was your last contact.
Yes.
When are you going to see the doctor?
I want to go as soon as possible. Right now I'm just kind of in a financial bind. And
All right, well
can't she do a home pregnancy thing?
She's done
Yes,
a
I
couple.
did.
I've done a couple.
Well, they shouldn't turn positive until around now anyway.
Oh, really?
It takes 2 weeks.
Okay.
So-
I didn't know that. Because they say, you can use as soon as your first day,
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks after last sexual
2
encounter.
weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. They don't say you can use it the first.
No, they
do they?
I have the box right here. It says you can use as soon as the first day you've missed your period. It says easy to read.
Is there a disclaimer about not being responsible if you pee on your hand?
No.
No. Okay. Those things aren't cheap, are they?
No, they're like 14, 15, 16 bucks.
Jesus.
I think as her penance, she should be forced to call Dr. Laura and listen to her.
Yeah, that's painful. She'll straighten you out. Do as she says, not as she does. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is the worst. This is the worst day of my life. And he's been working out. Drew, hold him down with a chair, would you? Jesus Christ.
You better be happy.
Oh, David Arquette has just walked in. What the hell is he saying? David Arquette has just walked into the studio.
Listen, tough guy. I just find this horrible.
This is the worst day of my life.
I called you on your bluff.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right, I was explaining what a fine actor David Arquette was at the top of the show, and he walks into the studio 5 minutes
How
later.
did I come up anyway? Because I turned on and I heard my name.
What an ambush!
They were comparing you to John Malkovich.
Oh, man.
Don't we have
That rocked so hard. Everyone in the world go see this movie. I read the script and I was blown away beyond words. I love marionettes and everything. Everything about this movie just touched my heart. And it's got the greatest cast and the best director.
Don't we have any security in this building?
I've been all in. I swear to God.
Oh my God, this is bizarre. Now,
It's kind of like being Adam Carolla.
oh my God. You know, once in a while when I'm talking about somebody, it always flashes through my mind, maybe they're listening or someone's going to rat me out, and then I think, nah, no one listens. They're home watching TV. Oh, David Arquette. Okay, so David, just let me clarify. I said he was talented, didn't I?
Yes.
I said he was nice.
And crazy.
Yeah, Orson Bean compared you to Hitler. Go get him.
I don't have that hate in my heart.
Oh, God bless you. Hey, when are you coming back on the show?
Whatever.
Oh, my God. Wow, I had, true, they kick me next time I start talking about somebody. David, what were you doing? Were you out driving around?
I was driving. I flipped the station on and I heard my name and I was like, whoa, shocked me. And then I heard the fine things you had to say about me. and then we heard it was here, and it was just all too much.
I was wrong about the part where I said you couldn't find the studio. I guess.
About that.
Okay, so I was wrong. Well, a fine talent. David Arquette, everybody. It's amazing.
Everyone go see Being John Malkovich.
That was amazing.
Amazing talent.
Thank you, guys.
All right, listen. Wait a minute. We should take a break. We'll break a few seconds early. I got to catch my breath here, and I have to hug David. So hold on a second. Hey, Veronica,
You go hug him.
we're good. We're good with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Listen.
go hug David. I'll close this out.
Well, we'll take a break.
All right.
All right. We got the cast from Being John Malkovich here. David Arquette's got to kick my ass in the parking lot. I'll be right back after this. Hey, Drew. Stop the outside conversation, please. The show has begun. It is Loveline. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. We have some of the cast and crew from Being John Malkovich, which would be Catherine Keener, Orson Bean, and Spike Jones. David Arquette played the part of David Arquette in a lovely cameo. I'm trying to think of who else. I think that Jerry Seinfeld's an insane person. And anyone who's listening to me can tell him. And he knows where to find me.
I thought you were going to pick one of the women you're attracted to.
Oh, yeah. What was her? Natasha Henstridge. That bitch is nuts. You know where to find
but we
me.
love her. But we love her.
Oh, we don't. Bring it on. We got something to say. All right. So, boy, that was interesting. For those of you who missed out what happened, I was talking lovingly about David Arquette's insanity at the top of the show, and he burst in. And that's why you got to get your chair closer to the door, Drew, in case there's trouble. All right, Being John Malkovich will be in wide release on the 19th of November. It's already starting to spread out, I guess, in New York, Chicago, L.A., all the hip places. But it's getting rave reviews.
Hit places like Milwaukee.
Right. Getting raves. Everything I've heard about has just been spectacular. All right, so, Drew,
Yeah.
you ready to go here?
Let's
Jason,
Yes,
you're 26.
yes.
What's up?
I just recently got engaged, and for about the past couple months, I've been engaging in phone sex, and
It's a new thing for you?
yeah, I was just wondering if that, I know physically it's not, but am I, quote, cheating on my fiancé?
No, but what's up?
She would look at it as cheating.
Well, she might be a little disturbed by it, but what is it that's compelling all this, do you think? It's something you've never done before, and all of a sudden you get engaged, and boom, you get compulsed.
Maybe he feels a little pressure. He wants to sort of sow his wild oats over the phone.
Thank you, Jason.
All right. Jason?
Yes.
All right, is that it?
I mean, is this a bad thing for me to be doing?
It's not. I wouldn't put a value judgment on it, but it means something, and it worries me about your decision to get married. That having made that decision, you all of a sudden have feelings you can't manage.
Are you dealing with the same girl over and over again, or is it a variety?
It's a variety, and occasionally the same woman.
How do you find the same one? You just ask for her?
Just, I can tell by the sound of their voice or the message that they're leaving on the talk line.
And how's it? You know what? I've never, as big a pervert as I am, and as big a fan as I am of pornography and objectifying women, I've never called one of these numbers ever. I called a romance in Espanol once just for kicks at my boss's office, just to screw with him a little bit. But I've never called one of these things. I don't really know how they work.
It's not advertised as a phone sex line. It's like a live links type thing.
But it turns into sex.
Yeah, I mean, there's women on there that are like, hi, looking for a nice guy, and then there's women that are like, hi, looking to get off.
But it all turns into menage a uno, doesn't it?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. How long does that take you? I mean, how much money are you spending?
You buy blocks of time, like 100 minutes for $49.
Well, that sounds reasonable.
And
100 minutes. Hold on, let me do some math there. 75, 80 times. True, I could have myself. At least that was my high school record. I don't know what I'm at now. Probably mid-60s, I'd imagine. All right, well, Jason.
Think what a bargain it would be for me.
Jason.
Yes.
All right, so why don't you see if you can stop doing this then?
And you're 26 years old. Maybe marriage isn't something you're really ready for. Maybe you feel a little cornered by all this. Just study the feelings that are perhaps motivating you to look for this kind of an escape. But it doesn't sound like something you feel good about, something you wanted to control, and you yourself equate it with, I just got engaged.
Let me ask our celebrity panel a question. This isn't, I don't really look at this as cheating per se, but do you think it's sort of a slippery slope, like you do the phone sex for a while, and then you move on, then you hit the massage parlor, then you get the girlfriend? Catherine, come on, lean up. Talking to that mic. What if your husband or your boyfriend was engaging in this? Would you look at it as cheating?
Yeah, I would.
You would?
I would.
Because he's having a sort of intimate experience with somebody?
Yeah, I think that, and maybe I think it might be a slippery slope kind of thing. For me, I would fear that
right.
If this were just kind of the tip of the iceberg.
Well, they talk about, like marijuana being a stepping stone drug, and I don't think it is, but you know what I'm saying? You get into drugs, and then you just keep going with something. What about this?
Yeah, but then you'd need some data out there that says, somebody that uses a prostitute regularly, you look back, they all started with phone sex lines. And
no, but what's your opinion?
I don't think it means much.
Okay, here's the question. Do you think a guy who'd been talking to using phone sex regularly would be any closer to using a prostitute than a guy like yourself, for instance, who claims not to use the phone sex lines? You know what I'm saying? I'm guessing that guy would be closer. Is that the kind of guy it is? Did the phone sex get him closer?
No, I suspect it might be a little further removed from it because it's such a sort of a weird, private.
Interesting.
Does Jason? Do you ever consider physically getting involved with somebody else?
No. I mean, I haven't been like, well, what's your address?
Well, what if one of your favorite gals asked you to meet her for a cup of coffee? Would you do that?
Wouldn't. No.
You wouldn't do it.
No.
Is it? I would never do that in a million years. Impossible, or I wouldn't be inclined to.
I don't know who this woman is. I mean,
would you ever consider seeing a prostitute?
No.
Okay. See, this is a case study of one.
I think there's a larger issue.
All right. Yeah.
I think that if you're going to get married, you should say to yourself, I wouldn't do anything that I would be ashamed for my wife to know. Now, if he wouldn't be ashamed for his wife to know, maybe it would turn her on. But if he would be ashamed, and my hunch is he would,
or I think the way to look at it is in terms of what would hurt your wife. What would even just by disappointing her.
Yeah.
And Catherine is saying, "Oh, this would really bother me. This is an intimate account. Would hurt me," and that becomes an attack on your wife. I just can't understand why guys would do that.
True, not an attack.
Isn't it? I swear to God.
I have said to Drew many times, because we travel, I'm trying to figure out a way for him to cheat, because if Drew cheats, that means it's okay for everyone. That's basically my take. So I've painted these elaborate scenarios about us doing some sort of college lecture in Canada, and we're in a limousine, and one of the driver, who's a beautiful female, wants to give us oral sex, and we won't tell anybody and she dies the next day in a logging accident. Wouldn't that be all right
if you died too?
And Drew says, I look at that as a personal attack on my family.
My family, yes.
I agree.
Please, not an
I could
attack.
not bring myself, as God is my witness.
Let me tell you what...
It's so bizarre, I can't imagine guys that can do that.
Yeah, I know your wife's listening.
And God would be your witness, too.
Okay. Let me tell you where the personal attack would come in. When your wife found out, you would attack your scrotum. That would be the personal attack.
Are you married, though, Adam?
No.
Oh.
No. So
that explains it.
That explains it all. Oh, by the way, I was just reminded that the season premiere of The Man Show is on right now, 10:30 Comedy Central. And everyone to turn the radios off immediately, drop what they're doing, and turn on Comedy Central and watch a fabulous Man Show.
Whatever.
Ted?
Yes.
You're 29. What's up?
I have a question for one of your guests, but before I do, I'm related to one of them indirectly and one of them directly. Spike, do you remember a cousin you had in New York named Teddy?
Teddy Linhart?
That's me.
Hey.
How you doing?
How's it going?
The Linhart could have just been a lucky guess.
No, I knew Spike a long time, and it's great to see him in this great success.
Oh, it's cool. Where do you live?
I live in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. That's good. That's good.
You can't get a job if you come out here, so stay there.
I am also related, a cousin, to one of David's band members, Gabe Cowan, is also my cousin.
David
Arquette? Really?
Now where is that?
So somehow...
That loony patient?
Adam and David's, I don't forget what he plays, are somehow related, possibly. I don't know how that works. Anyway.
Wow.
Spike.
Yeah.
How much arm twisting did you have to do, and how much work did you have to put into getting Malkovich to be in your film? I mean, did he say instantly, wow, this is great, let's do it, or he said, this is way too bizarre, forget it, and you had to just keep coming back to him?
No, he actually, he, as I was saying earlier, he thought that was really funny, and I think he just had to decide, it wasn't so much persuading him. I just talked about, what I thought and what I wanted to do with it, and but he loved all the stuff, the mean stuff, and he wanted more mean stuff, the more meaner stuff about him, the better, and but no.
Did you know him before this? Had you met him?
No, but Did
he know you? Did he know of your work?
Yeah, I sent him a videotape, and
To us, it sounds like you sent a tape and you went and knocked on his door. I mean, how does that work?
I went over and met with him in Paris, and where he lives in France.
Who set that up? Agents set that up or something? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, he lives in France.
Yeah, he lives in France, so I got to go over there.
Where was the film filmed?
It takes place in New York City and New Jersey Turnpike.
And that's where you guys shot it?
No. No.
You don't want to ruin it for everyone?
Oh,
Vancouver, that's right. Where our hookers are.
And could have this worked with any other actor, like being Jack Nicholson or being Ed Harris? I mean, do you think that...
Ed Asner was it?
No.
Do you think there's any way it could be interchangeable, or is there something unique about Malkovich that allowed this type of bizarre storyline to work so well?
Yeah, we always just couldn't imagine anybody else other than him. But he was the one we wanted to do it with. And have you seen it yet?
No, I'm excited to go.
What the hell kind of cousin are you, Ted?
It's just come out. I don't even know if it's Chicago's Gone.
All right. You're lucky. You're lucky. All right, say bye to Spike.
Bye, Spike.
See ya. It was good to talk to you, Teddy.
Good to talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, small world there, and distantly related to David Arquette as well. It's Ted's set. All right, Karen.
Hello?
You're 15. What's up?
Yeah, I just want to know how long, like, a climax lasted, like, if it was different for girls or guys.
How long for the guys?
Yeah, and the girls. Like, if it was different or one was less.
I've tried to time my climaxes before, but by just looking at the second hand, but my hand is moving so fast, I can never, quite get a beat on it. But for a guy, what is it, 3 seconds or?
Seriously?
Yeah, but there's a whole 5 minutes leading up to that that's really, special.
Oh.
Well, what about women?
It depends on whether they're if they're multi-orgasmic or not.
Well, let's not add them up. Let's just say one session.
The women that are multi-orgasmic, usually the orgasms are much shorter.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's an interesting question. Women, see, here's the thing. Okay, here's what I want to say. Hang on there, Karen. You're 15. Do you really need to know this? All right, just hang on. Let me just figure this out. For a guy, you start the clock when the first bit of semen breaks the plane of the urethra opening there, right?
Okay.
That's where you start the clock, and you'd finish it when the last drop came out, right?
Okay.
Let's just say that, okay?
Thanks for that clarification.
Okay, so that would be 3, 4, 5 seconds?
5, 6 seconds. Yeah.
5, 6 seconds. Wait a minute. Let's just let me just say. I'll tell you what 5 seconds is. Okay, ready? Oh, wait a minute. It's really hard. Go. Go, Orson.
It's about 5 seconds.
Stop.
Yeah.
Now it seemed to beat longer than it could have been. I'd say 3.5, 4 seconds. Now a woman, you never know because they start making that face and stuff and moving around, but you never quite know when it starts, and then you get a good idea when it's over. But I mean, hey, could be 30 seconds, right? But does that mean they're orgasming during the 30?
Yes.
Yes?
I think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You think you've done 30?
I think it's longer than,
Longer than guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know who has the greatest sex life in all of nature is the snail. The snail is nature's true hermaphrodite. The snail both does and is done to. And the foreplay lasts for 2 hours, sensuous touching of feelers, and then the actual intercourse lasts 40 minutes. And it is, if you can go out in the garden late at night and you hear these tiny little sighs. And the reason that the snail has this great sex life is that when God is deciding, all the animal souls are called together. He says, I need lions. Hands go up, king of the jungle, big yellow afro. True story. All right, says God, I need giraffes. Hands go up. And finally he gets down to cows. All right, steady work. It's no, but what the hell is a steady job? Finally he gets down to snails, and all the animal souls are looking at the ground. No one wants to be a snail. God says, come on, I got to have some snails, and the animal souls don't volunteer. And finally God says, all right, I tell you what I'm going to do. And this is why we have snails.
They can get it on for 40 minutes in the tentacle
they have a member, and they are the receptor and the receptee. Or whatever.
Why do you need anybody else if you got both? It wouldn't be a bad gig. Well, so does Bruce Valanche show, right, Drew? Didn't we?
We decided that.
We decided that, yes, indeed. Okay, we have the cast and director of Being John Malkovich on the Fabulous Loveline. When we come back, we will speak to Mark, who is 28, wants too much sex, is driving wife nuts. She wants to know if there's any medication he can take. We'll get into that after this.
15 seconds, and the second one comes. And if your date hasn't noticed the first one, you say, I just get the feeling in 10 seconds it's going to be a dot in the upper right-hand corner. She says, what are you talking about? And then the dot comes. She said, my God, how did you know?
Isn't that all automated, though, now?
Now
it's somebody up there changing the phone.
Yes.
Has it always been 6 reels, or is this a newer
It depends
thing?
on the length. Right? No, it's right. Ours is on 6 20-minute reels.
Right.
And or anything under 20 minutes. And but they used to be on 10-minute reels, so it used to be twice as long. But some movies are longer, so they're on a lot more reels.
I had no idea.
I was like on 2 reels.
I thought it was 2 big reels. Well, I'm thinking of school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was always the good one. Like I hated school. I was a horrible student, and once in a while it'd be film day. And so you'd see the cart roll in with the projector on it, and you'd think, oh, great, this is going to be great. And if you saw 2 reels, it was like, yes, that's it, we'll learn nothing. This is great. This is huge. But if you saw that little skimpy reel, it meant, uh-oh, we're going to have to discuss this. Yeah. All right. Mark?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. You're 28, and you want a lot of sex. You're driving your wife nuts. And what's the difference between what you want and what she wants?
Well, it just seems like, I still feel like I'm 18. I could have sex every night with her if she'd let me, but it's come to the point now where I'll come home from work and I just always get the cold shoulder. I don't know if it's...
What does she want?
She wants, as far as I know, just to stay sleeping,
How often, what would be comfortable for her?
I don't know. I've tried to ask her, and she gets real shaky about the whole thing.
You guys are having some sort of major breakdown in your communication.
See,
this is not about your sex drive or her sex drive. This is about your relationship and the quality in which you're maintaining it.
How old is she?
She's 29.
And how long have you been married?
5 going on 6 years.
What else is going on in the relationship?
I can't think of it. I work a lot.
Did something change?
Kid?
We have 2 children.
When was the last one born?
She was born almost 3 years ago.
Is she feeling overwhelmed or stressed or having trouble?
I don't know. I've tried to ask her questions about it, but it seems like every time I get into any subjects about it, she clams up.
About it being what?
About me talking about, what's going on, how come things have changed.
Give me an example of how you approach her. What would you say to her?
Well, a couple times when she said, no, I don't feel like it, and I've asked her, well, why? What's
no, see, no.
All right, hold on. Don't make this all Mark's fault.
No,
he's
but
married,
I'm
he's
trying to
horny.
give you some advice. This is not about the sex, and you got to take it away from that. She's going to feel objectified and unsupported and sort of demeaned by that. You've got to find out at a time when you're both calm what's going on with her, what's changed. And talk about how you stay away from you statements. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with this? So I missed the closeness we had. What can we do to reestablish that? So stay in that mode. When women shut down sexually, it's because they are not having their emotional needs supported, especially in a relationship like this. And you've got to figure out. And men, we're clueless. We don't even know what the hell's going on. We just know that, hey, what's wrong with you? Why isn't this working anymore?
Well, it's more like just to hold still.
Yes. Which I know you've recommended many times, Adam, and that's fallen. I'm very excited. We've been very excited to hear that option being touted.
You took the vows. Come on. Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
But listen, has things changed with her, or has it always been this way?
No, it hasn't always been this way. I kind of wonder because she had a bad grown-up childhood.
In what way?
Well, her mother and father used to fight a lot, and then they ended up getting separated. Her father was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
He still would be an alcoholic. But
Are you an alcoholic?
No, I'm not.
Right.
I mean, I drink beers occasionally, but...
All right. But I'm not... Yes, there is some of that. You're going to be sort of cast in the role of her dad in many of the encounters you guys have together, but it doesn't always have to be that way if you find a calm moment and try to establish a real contact.
All right. So what we're saying is for guys, sex is sex, and for women, it means a lot of other things, oftentimes, I believe. And if they're not happy with the way you're acting, that's going to get shut down. Men, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the relationship can be coming undone. The libido's still intact. So you got to talk, as painful as it is.
I know it's tough for you. That's a tough one for you.
I know, you actually have to talk. And the problem is the only time the subject comes up is when he's horny and she's turning him down.
Exactly.
So you have to do it, do it, right after you leave church or after you've masturbated or after you've masturbated in church, like Drew's known to do. That basket comes around. That's what Drew answers.
Mike.
This is one of the few shows you can talk about religion.
You're 26.
Enduring terms.
Yep.
What's up?
I just have a question about the penis enlargement devices.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything bad that can happen using them?
Yeah, you avoid addressing the real problems with your sense of your own self-worth.
Which is scrotum size, right?
Which is really what's driving all this. I mean, it's useless, worthless.
Oh, wait a minute. But physically, is there any? They can suck your soul out, can't they, Drew?
Some have known to, yes.
I don't know. I've just been self-conscious about it.
Yeah, but it's a representation of something else.
How big are you?
Average.
How small are you?
Average.
Average.
Yeah.
What's wrong with average?
I don't know, because I'm a pretty big guy otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, for me, I don't know, it just seems a little bit out of proportion, you know?
Yeah. What's the size, do you know?
Just 6.
6? It's not bad. That's bigger than average.
Above average.
We found out that the average is like 5.3 erect, by the way. So then 6 is you're ahead of the game.
But I just look like I'm bigger than that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got fitted with the wrong penis.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a big Ford F-250 truck with wheels from a Miata on it.
Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong, it works fine.
All right.
It's just, for me, I think...
All right, but did any women complain about it?
No.
All right, so it's your issue.
Yeah.
All
right.
It's really a representation of your own worth is the problem, and that's more what needs to be worked on.
Everybody we speak to, every guy who has a small penis or is worried about his penis size, it's never really about the penis. It's more the penis becomes
A symbol of their worth, their stature.
Right.
Literally.
And then his wife runs off with a lesbian, so she can really get satisfied.
Hey, do you want to play the John Malkovich song right now?
All right. I wasn't thinking about that, but okay, I could do that. Is Anderson ready?
Yeah.
Drew, what did that just pop in your head there? Maybe John walked into Drew's head.
Somebody entered a portal and...
Yeah, I don't know. I really wanted to talk to Spike about him putting me in one of his films.
During the break, let's do that.
During the break?
All right, here comes the song. We have just enough time to play it.
All right, is this in the movie?
This is a song that Malkovich sings in the movie that a friend of mine, Mario, and I remixed it a few weeks ago and made this took what Malkovich did and took it, put gold on top of it.
Well, let's be the judge of that.
Welcome to the 7.5 floor.
And I couldn't figure out why the street was why you got the whole street to yourself, but would it have anything to do with the subway or what they were building or any kind of construction project, or did you just go
close it down?
Yeah, we only got to close it down for one shot, and the city of San Fernando wasn't happy about it, but
yeah, not big Bjork fans over there in the East Valley, I would say.
Bjork and ZZ Top. That's what they're into.
No. All right, Jeff. A great video. And a great song, by the way. I really love that.
You and I have never...
Doesn't make her any less nuts, but...
now, where have you met her? Because she's been on the show a couple times over the years.
I never met her on this show, but I saw her over at the K-Rock Morning Show, Coming and Bean show once with some sort of, battery pack hooked up to herself, some sort of, homemade dialysis thing she'd worked out, and she was talking about electrodes and keeping her energy cells charged and stuff, and I just went, wow. And I've seen her interviewed a million times and stuff. She's very insane.
A lovely person.
Amazing talent.
This is
and a nice person, but out there, right? Would have been killed a couple hundred years ago. No, her and Arquette be on the same stake. She might have actually really would. The town would have just gathered up and burned him like a heretic.
She might have actually floated when they threw her in with a stone.
Right. Exactly. All right. Well, thank God we're not killing our artists anymore. Jeff?
Yeah.
You're 29.
Exactly. For Spike, I just want to say, Drew and Adam, you guys rock. Long-time listener. Orson, your performance was amazing. You should be nominated. Get your palm prints at the Man Chinese.
Oh, my God.
Totally. Catherine, your role of Maxine could only remind me of the genius work you did in the 1989 Dennis Hopper film, Backtrack. I saw a lot of Trucker's Girl in Maxine. A lot of Trucker's Girl. But no, the website for the film is great. The script's great. The cast is great. The direction was great. There's no complaints. But my question for Spike is what amazes me about him is not only does he continue to work as such a great artist, but he continually reaches out to his community. And I'm speaking, of course, of the Torrance Community Dance Group. And I've been hearing rumors that they're going to be performing with Cirque du Soleil this later in the fall. And I'm just curious if that's true, and I'm curious if they had anything to do with any of the great dance sequences in the movie, because go Torrance, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, thank you very much. What?
Is this another cousin of yours, Spike?
No relation.
No, the Torrance Community Dance Group is a dance group that I contribute to financially in Torrance.
Torrance,
Torrance, California, yeah. And I'm a philanthropist.
And where are you from, though, originally?
I'm from Amarillo, Illinois. And
But how did you get hooked up with Torrance?
I find them interesting, creative people, and They practice out of the First Life Church on Sepulveda Boulevard in Torrance.
Are they going to tour with Cirque du Soleil? Is that true?
No, I think their next upcoming gig is the Delamo Fashion Center.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Same things.
Wow.
It's all.
It's a Thanksgiving, Christmas show. It'll be over the 4-day weekend there.
All right.
South Bay is a cultural center.
That's awesome.
It's a mecca.
You got to keep doing
Hey,
it.
Jeff, where Malkovich may stop by. He's often seen, can be spotted. We're done at the hot dog on a stick over there at the Delamo Fashion Center.
Just make sure him and Arquette don't get into a fight over you, Adam.
No, it's tough. It'd be difficult to figure out which one loved me more. It really would. Hey, Jeff, where are you calling from?
Los Angeles, your hometown.
Great. Don't come down here.
I won't.
Okay.
Take it easy.
All right.
Great movie, Spike. Great movie.
Thanks a lot.
Wow, he really did his homework. And how did you get hooked up with Orson Bean, by the way, to do this project?
Well, Orson Bean plays a character named Dr. Lester in the movie, who is this sweet older man who is thinks of one thing only, and it's probably the same thing you think of mostly, Adam, which is
Orson Bean,
women, and
right.
So Dr. Lester, who is I don't know if he's sexually frustrated or not, but he definitely thinks and talks a lot about sex.
He has the hots for his secretary, Mary Kay Place.
Yeah.
And how did Orson come into this role?
Oh, so anyways, yeah, we had this role, Dr. Lester, and we were searching high and low for the man for the job, and we were about a week away from shooting, and he was the last one cast. We were sort of getting down to not knowing what to do, and he came in and saved the day, and came in ready.
Did you just go out on a call?
They had read every old actor in the business and couldn't cast the thing. And I happened to be on Late Night with Tom Snyder one night, and they saw it and they got me in. And I'm telling you, it was like 2:30 in the morning at the White Rose Bar when the dame
did this show. I've told this story before, but you guys will appreciate it. She was here 3 years ago plugging some other movie, and I asked her what else she had coming up. She said, well, there's this movie with Marky Mark and Burt Reynolds where I play Roller Girl. And I said, this is the worst sounding idea I've ever heard in my life. Marky Mark and Burt Reynolds. This is 3.5 years ago. So if you think about, Burt Reynolds was coming off of Cop and a Half, and Marky Mark just done some kind of music video or something. And I said, I don't know who your agent is, but I got to talk to him because, honey, he's driving your career's going in the garbage can. Marky Mark, Burt Reynolds, and you're on roller skates? Yeah, it takes place in the 70s. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's about the porn industry.
Oh, Mike, what are you doing, honey? And that was really one of my favorite films of the year. So, anyway, I'm not going to make that same mistake with Orson.
All right.
I'm a huge fan of yours. The work you did in this movie was stellar.
And this from a man who hasn't seen it.
And I couldn't imagine anyone else playing your part. I really couldn't. Oh, wait a minute here, Drew. Where are we? You got a call? Oh, Drew, you got to... Oops, sorry. We'll get rid of your old papers over there, because I'm looking at those ones. Austin?
Yeah?
You're 15. What's up?
Hey, how's it going? First of all the people that are there in the studio with you, I don't want to be the guy saying, okay, but if they're on your show, I'm sure they're very talented, and there you go.
Yeah, well, they are.
What's your question?
My girlfriend is institutional. She's in a hospital.
For what? For what?
For suicidal, cutting herself.
Okay. Anything else going on? Is she doing drugs or anything?
Well, no, she wanted me to smoke her out one time, but
What does that mean?
Smoke weed with her?
With her. So she smokes weed regularly?
No, she doesn't.
She just wanted
She doesn't do anything.
You smoke weed regularly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a stoner.
Alright, what's up?
Okay, well, she went in, 2 weeks ago, and she's supposed to be in for another 2 weeks, and I wanted to break up with her, but I don't want her to, I don't know if I should break up with her or wait till she's gotten out, or...
You were going to break up with her anyway, it's not because she's in a hospital?
Well, I guess...
Oh, boy, there's that stoner laugh.
Yeah.
Hey, this relationship was over. Go ahead.
Well, 1 month in a psychiatric hospital.
Yeah, adolescent adolescent hospitalization takes pretty long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they told her that they'd probably be another 2 weeks if she was, going with
Right, but
she must have made a pretty serious attempt on it.
Yeah.
But put Austin on hold for 1 second. We're going to talk behind your back for a second.
Austin's stoned. He can stay there. We don't have to
This is the point. How devastating, or destabilizing is it going to be to his girlfriend for Austin, the stoner boyfriend, to be out of her life? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
She'll make it.
It may harm her and it may hurt her, but it's probably a good move in terms of her overall health and progress. So, Austin, while if the relationship is over, being honest with her now is not a bad idea because she has lots of support around her, can really process this. This is the time to do it. Not when she gets out and decompensates again. If this relationship is really over, if you are leaving her merely because she is in a hospital, that's an unfortunate, stigmatizing, and I think discriminatory thing to do for somebody who has a mental illness and needs hospitalization, is getting treatment. You too, Austin, need treatment. You're a marijuana addict. I guarantee you, as God is my witness, it will catch up with you.
Well, okay. Well, let me say, it's an interesting angle. My angle would be, don't freak her out while she's in the hospital. Let her recover, let her get out. But Drew, now I do actually agree with your point, which is, if you're going to shoot somebody, shoot them in the OR.
Yeah, when she gets out,
well, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a bunch of people around with who are sterilized. Mm-hmm. You know what? Don't do it in the alley.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. If your heart's going to stop, go ahead and let it stop in the cath lab, not out on the street.
I would have. That was my next analogy. The cath lab.
Yeah.
What the hell's that?
That's where you've been catheterized. You got all the equipment in your heart.
Listen, our stone listeners aren't going to catch up the cath lab. Okay, so dump her while she's in the hospital.
If the relationship, in fact, is over, be honest and let her deal with it when she's got the support to do it.
All right. And so she stays in for another month or so, right? Right? I mean, she's there.
Catherine feels the pain.
Catherine, well, what would you do? I mean, he wants to break up.
I don't know.
Would you break? I mean, I would think let her get out, and you know, as a matter of fact, I would give her another month after she got out, and then break up.
I promise you, the team that's treating her would be delighted to have Austin out of her life.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably true, and she has people around her.
Yeah. And why not deal? And the sooner and the more thoroughly she deals with reality, the better it is for her overall.
Yeah, I agree with Dr.
Well. Wow, you that sad?
No, I just think that I think I'm not. Oh yeah, I'm a little tired, but I do think that if it's going to happen anyway, it should happen when she has people around to help her through it, and not when she's out kind of on her own.
Yeah. All right. So for once, I agree with Drew.
Catherine has a 4-month-old baby. This is the first evening she's been able to get out, and she's spending it with you two.
God bless you, Catherine. 4 months. Yeah. Is he or she?
He.
Yeah. Is he doing good?
He's doing all right.
Yeah, he can be on his own at 4 months, can't he? You're not spending the night here.
No.
A couple hours, right?
I'll be home soon.
Yeah, what's he gonna get into over there? He's gonna be like, boot up something on the internet and watch some porn or something. He's not going anywhere. He's probably sleeping, right?
Kids get pretty advanced these days.
He is sleeping.
Yeah,
my husband is.
Your husband's son, right? Here's why I know I'm going to be a bad parent, is because if I see a kid sleeping, I think I could probably sneak out and go down to the liquor store and come back 20 minutes later.
No.
Why not?
Oh my God.
Well, they wake up, right? So what happens?
Oh my God. Yeah, when they're 15, it's okay.
Okay. All right. No, that's when I don't leave. Are you kidding? Smoking pot and going through my porno. We'll take a little break, and we'll be back after this. This is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. Catherine Keener, Orson Bean, and Spike Jones are all here from Being John Malkovich, which is out in wide release on November 19th and out in certain places now as we speak, and it's getting raves. And I think, or at least Roger Ebert thinks it's going to be nominated
Spike
for
just did a magic trick, I think.
one of the best films of the year.
Very good one, too.
What was it?
I didn't see that. Go ahead, Spike.
Visual magic is really I mean, it's the best thing for radio.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can use your imagination.
He's rolling his sleeves up.
Look at Catherine's watching him like a hawk. Yeah. He's got a little handkerchief. He's waving it. A little silk handkerchief, yellow.
A little music, Anderson?
Yes. And now he's just poking it into his...
Stuffed it into his right hand.
His right hand, pressing it right in there. Yeah, and now he's just
twice.
making sure that, and it's gone.
Oh my God! I'm easily impressed, I gotta admit, but that was pretty good. That was good. He had his sleeves rolled up. Yeah. We have good lighting in here. I didn't see anything flying away. You guys have different angles on Spike. You didn't see anything?
I did a whole magic show last week at my grandson's birthday. I cut a guy's arm off. I cut another person's necktie off and then restored it. I can do 20 minutes of good stuff if you ever have when your kid is older, Catherine, I'll come and do a show free.
My kid's birthday is next Wednesday. You're welcome to come. You're supposed to come.
I'm not going to that.
You're
crazy kids. How many? There's going to be like 60 kids at your house?
Yes.
No, I told you as part of the conditions of my parole, I cannot be around children. I mean, it's for another 4 years. It's no big deal, but I'm just saying there's no way.
You were expected. I'm telling you.
There's no way my PO is going to let me near that
Don't
place.
worry, I'll put you working anyway.
100 yards is the stipulation.
You'll be doing carpentry, don't worry.
Scott?
Yeah, how you doing?
You're 21.
Yeah.
What is up?
You guys made a reference probably 2 or 3 weeks ago about something along the effects of people necessarily with eating disorders usually tend to be sexually compulsive.
I don't know if it was me who said that.
No, yeah, it was Dr. Drew. You made the comment. Somebody was talking about.
There is an association, but it's not usually.
Yeah, okay, that's the What I'm curious about is my wife. She used to be bulimic, and before we even got together, it was cool. She wasn't bulimic. We got together. It developed somewhere along the lines, and it's never happened since then. Whatever, but we tend to be pretty sexual compulsive, and I just thought it was really interesting that you made that point. I was curious where they made that connection or what.
I see it all the time. I don't know. I was realizing as you're asking the question, I've not read data. And I know it's not a routine thing, but I've certainly seen plenty of cases of that.
Well, where does the bulimia stem from? Is it a control thing?
Well,
is it a mastery thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, here's
and could the mastery thing have to do with men as well as yourself?
Well, it's more that these are primitive ways of handling overwhelming feelings. And when you don't develop...
The bulimia is a way of...
Yeah, it's when you don't have the opportunity to develop fully, developmentally... Your body looks for ways to manage feelings, and this is one at its disposal. It's particularly common to people that have very intrusive parents or severe traumas in childhood.
But what about other conditions and their connection to sexual compulsion, such as being addicted to drugs?
Very common.
Very common. Well, so, I mean, there's sort of you could make the connection between the sexual compulsion and a few things, right?
Yeah, you could also say that people that have childhood sexual traumas are at higher risk of having eating disorders and are usually sexual compulsives.
Well, I mean, common sense would tell me, like, okay, maybe the sexual compulsive would come with being, not enough self-esteem. They want to feel more sexually...
There's some of that, and these are sort of primitive mechanisms to try to restore a fused state with another person.
All right, well, how's it manifesting itself now, Scott?
Okay, pretty much, here's how we pinpointed what came of it, why it developed. And the thing was, is her mother, when she was young, I mean, I guess parents don't understand what they're saying to their kids, but it was strange. Her mother always put an emphasis on her weight or this or that, and the thing is, she's completely beautiful. I mean,
Scott, that's not why she has an eating disorder.
No. Here's the thing. It's been in her mind. I mean, we have figured out that it was growing up and being basically told. Her mother basically told her when she was young that she's overweight. I mean,
no, that's not why she has an eating disorder.
All right, but you want to revisit that one more time, Scott? Or you just gonna believe
she has an eating disorder because she has an intrusive, annihilating mom who got under her skin in all areas of her life, amongst which is she had to look perfect, be perfect, because that's what the mother needed her to be.
Exactly.
And she never allowed her to develop as a separate whole individual.
It's getting a little cathartic now, Drew. You want to simmer down a little? Better to have a mom who locked herself in a room and smoked pot like my mom.
She'll freak out.
She'll come out completely normal and adjusted. Hey, but Scott, listen to me. I don't care what her mom called her or how she said she looked in a jumpsuit in 1974. Yeah. I want to know how it's manifesting itself now.
Oh, now this is gone and done with. I mean, it's never...
No, all right, what about the sexual compulsion?
Oh, yeah, it's all the time.
Listen.
It's cool, I'm not complaining at all.
Scott, okay, but I'm asking one last time. As far as the sexual compulsion goes, it's not like she wants to have sex with other men. It's not like she wants to make movies. She just has sex with you a lot.
Yeah, it was just interesting to me that that point was made. That
Okay.
Common thing. Common combo.
You're fine.
Okay, one more thing. Before I had a chance to see the Man Show for the first time tonight.
Oh, yes.
And I got to tell you,
it sucked.
It's for men, definitely. It's a great show. And,
thank you.
I'd never
genius, this guy.
You were on the Man Show. I thought you just liked it a lot, and you're always trying to promote it because you liked it.
No,
but
I don't like it. But
Adam does not promote anything that he's not associated with.
You know, I don't know what it is.
Except for Clamato.
About this, but like you're Adam. I always pictured you as a late 30s, early 40s kind of balding kind of guy. But
thank you.
No offense.
Oh.
I'm not. I'm just saying on the show. I was like, whoa, hey, Adam's a young guy.
All right, settle down there. This is sexually compulsive, this, Scott. All right, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that.
Yeah, what I pictured and what you're nice. You're a nice looking guy.
All right, Scott. Relax.
Thank you.
Relax,
I thought you were.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, now Spike's going to put him in the movie.
Spike, do you hear that? The camera loves me.
They thought you were good looking?
Yes. All of America's abuzz with my matinee idol good looks. And I know you like to work with these guys, these Malkovich types. Sure, you gotta have a few lines in your face and a shaved head in order to be an artist. But there's nothing, there are geniuses that are attractive, right, Drew? Grotesque. I have no idea what that said.
No, I didn't either.
All right. Listen, come on,
yes, many geniuses are.
Okay. Matt?
Yeah.
Thank you. You're 21.
Yeah.
What's up?
I just want to talk to Spike, because I went out and saw the movie Friday night, opening night. I have to say it was one of the most disturbingly brilliant movies I've seen in like years.
Disturbing.
Where are you calling from, Matt?
I'm calling from Downey, L.A.
All right.
Local. And it was hard to find, because it's like only in 4 places.
I'm scared. I'm scared. A guy from Downey gets disturbed.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Drew said it. All right, you go on and heap praise on Spike, please.
Well, I will. I mean, every part was acted in that. It was weird seeing Lauren Bray from Dr. Quinn in a role like that. That was a switch. But I was just curious, how did you hook up with John Cusack? Because that was the main reason I went and saw it. He's done a lot of weird movies, and I saw he was in this, so I was prepared for weird, but that was something. How'd you hook up with him?
He had read the script a while ago and had always wanted to do it. I think John Cusack plays an out-of-work sort of struggling artist whose art is marionette puppetry, and he's trying to succeed as a puppeteer in this hard and heavy world we have, and he just identified with that role.
He's great. He really is, and I wouldn't even agree necessarily that he's done a ton of weird movies, but he does weird parts in roles in even more mainstream movies sometimes.
Well, you had Grosse Point Blank. He played a hitman. I mean, that's not exactly usual.
Yeah, but what I mean is this is probably the weirdest of his movies, is it not?
Well, it's probably the weirdest.
Or was it that wasn't even that Summer Vacation? What was that movie where he had to fix up the boat and win the big yacht race?
Yeah.
Better Off Dead, yeah, with Bobcat Goldthwait.
No, that was One Crazy Summer.
One Crazy Summer.
I'm a big Cusack freak.
Jesus Christ, you should be institutionalized for knowing that movie. All right, Matt?
Yeah.
Any more praise?
Oh, it was one of the few movies I've ever seen where not one single part was poorly acted, so that just brought that to the whole cast.
Oh, thank you. I'll thank you on their behalf, or they can thank you on their behalf. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Matt.
Want to see it.
Take care. Oh, good. I like it. We've talked about this before, Drew. There's a lot of injustice in this society of ours, but one thing that still seems to work, which is no matter how big the advertising budget is for a stinky movie, it will not succeed.
Right.
And conversely, no matter how small the budget is, for a really good movie, you can't seem to keep it down. And it doesn't seem to hold true in any other aspect of life. But in films, and there may be 100 great masterpieces that I haven't seen and never heard of, and so maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to me that I've seen, movies where the advertising budget was, millions and millions of dollars, and you couldn't get people to go see that movie. Maybe they saw it for the first week, then word of mouth spread, and the second week it flopped completely, whereas movies, and I get the feeling this movie will be one of those, it just keeps going. It's just word of mouth. Everyone is called in, has liked it. They'll tell people, and it'll just keep keep chugging along. And I like that. That means there's some justice. Now, Spike, why don't you put me... You understand the kind of power I have with this microphone?
Yeah, that's good.
I will dedicate, forget about an evening, a week, to whatever movie you put me in. You understand?
Do a remake of Shakes the Clown and put him in it.
That's right.
You like Shakes the Clown.
Bobcat's a friend.
I love Shakes
Don't make
the
me
Clown.
pick up the phone. Well, Bob finds out about Orson's love for shakes. Bobcat's assistant called me for the 35th time yesterday, by the way, at Loveline, and wanted to know which Adam it was. I remember as I was talking about this. Because Bobcat Goldthwait's assistant has my name in a Rolodex as Just Adam. And every 6 months she calls and goes, Bob's having a party. Is this Adam Sandler? And I go, no, this is Adam Carolla. And she goes, all right. Did I say he was having a party? But then I tell her, put my last name, and she does it, and then 6 months later she calls back again. God bless her. All right, we will take ourselves a little break, and when we come back, more of the show. Yes, that is next week. And I can't pronounce Melissa's last name. Would that be D'Souza? I couldn't see the rest of the D there. That from Best Man, which is... I think it's not. It'll be out Friday.
No, it's out. It's been out. It came out last week, I think.
Oh, Best Man came out
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You guys are locked in here. You don't know nothing.
Did? I just
Best Man, yeah.
I just talked to someone who said they're going to the premiere.
No.
I thought that was tonight. Really? Am I going insane? Is there another movie I'm thinking about?
Worst.
Oh, not The Best Man. Okay. I'm thinking of The Bachelor or the.
Oh, The Bachelor's coming out Friday.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Okay. Come on. I didn't smoke that much pot. That was close. Fine. Yeah, The Best Man, which was that was #1 film a couple of weeks ago. I do believe. All right, Drew. What the hell do you want?
Go to calls.
That's it.
Yeah.
I can't say who our guests are. Or any of that. You do it. Read the thing. Come on. And don't give me that look. I don't like that. Lean into the mic. Well, I'm explaining who's coming on the show coming up. I'm explaining where the person's coming from. You had to stop me and get into tomorrow night. That was your deal. I went to next week, and then you give me that guilty lean up against the mic, like I'm here telling some high school football story. No, seriously. I say who's coming up next week. Right?
Yep.
Then you stop me and say who's coming up.
Adam, I'm honestly afraid to say anything because last time.
Go ahead.
Last time I said anything.
Say it. Well, what am I talking about?
All of America is listening to this spat.
That's fine. That's the best part of the
Odd
show.
couple here.
Seriously, Drew, what's the puss for?
Puss.
You want to take calls. Okay, why do you want to go into who's coming on tomorrow night then if you want to take calls?
Because we skipped tomorrow night. And we would all
Okay,
do
but
next
you don't
week.
think I'm aware of that?
I didn't know because I didn't think you couldn't. Seem like you couldn't read it, and that's why I was offering to read it.
Okay, all right. Now you don't want to reset this show.
Set show with Spike Jones, Orson Bean, Catherine Keener from Bean.
Let's go to the calls. Michael,
better run.
You're 20. What's up?
Yeah, my girlfriend will not let me make her orgasm. So, she has told me that, she could if she lets herself, but, if she would let herself, but her mind tells her not to. And sometimes she'll stop me. And other times, I guess she just says her mind... she says she can't explain it, but her mind tells her she can't. And I know that she's even told me that, when she's masturbating, that she can make herself orgasm.
Is this always gone on?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's never orgasmed with a guy.
Yeah. I think that's an intimacy thing. Personally.
Well, she needs to. Sometimes women are afraid they're going to urinate or something.
No,
some peculiar little.
And I asked her that because, we've talked about it, and I asked her that, and she said that's not it. Nothing happens.
So he's happy to do that.
Sure.
This is that I don't want to give up, lose control, be completely vulnerable. Those sort. Adam is telling you that, and that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it is.
And I think that might be part of it. She even had a fiance before me, so.
She had a fiance.
Yeah.
And she didn't give him the orgasm either.
No.
All right, well, here's the question. Is she been abandoned? Has she had something taken away from her?
Yeah, I guess you could say she has, her father left when she was very young.
All right, well, there you go.
And does she not have contact with him?
No, very rarely, and he says that he's going to keep in contact, but he never does.
Was she sort of hurt by that, I guess?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Well, that could be part of it. I've run into that before. They all say that, though. Maybe they're just being kind. But women look at the orgasm as something that they are sometimes. I don't want to make a blanket statement here, but I'll go ahead anyway. Women look at the orgasm as if they're giving something away, whereas men, they can't give enough of that sperm away. I told Drew once if I could run backwards fast enough to get the sperm to come out of my penis, I would do it. It's of no use to us, this sperm. We produce billions every 10 minutes, and we can't push it through fast enough. I'm not attached to any one particular sperm that's in me, by the way. They're all expendable. Let's kill them all.
And
That's
even when a guy is 90 years old, the delivery system is not as efficient, but the sperm itself is produced fresh on the hour like Dunkin' Donuts.
Right. Yeah, it's like some sort of Dunkin' Donuts, like a bakery, except for it's just the truck doesn't drive as fast, but they're still cranking out the donuts. That's right. And women look at it as some of them they bond too tightly with a guy when they have the orgasm, and it becomes too intimate for them. So I'd work on that if I were you, but work that angle. Don't just focus on the mechanical orgasmic part. Jennifer?
Yeah, hi.
You're 22. What's up?
My boyfriend is completely into anal sex, and having sex the regular way, he doesn't really want to do. And if we're having sex the regular way, it's hard for him to keep it up, and he has to rub my anus to basically, I guess, keep his erection.
Wow.
That's interesting.
So,
yeah.
I want to know, is this a very popular thing nowadays, or?
Sure, all the kids are doing it.
No, I
It's
don't
like
mean
Pokemon.
that, but I know.
That's where the name was derived from. People don't realize that.
No, I know a lot of
Anal
people
sex?
more
Oh,
about
Drew,
anal
please.
sex, you know.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Now, I don't trust guys that are into the back door completely. I don't mind a little dabbling, but I don't trust guys that are obsessed with it.
Yeah, because we used to do it once in a while.
Yeah.
It was like an intimate thing, and then it turned into, like, every time we had sex. That's what it had to be, or he'd get, pissed off.
What kind of guy is he otherwise?
What's that?
When he's not involved with the cornholing, what kind of guy is he?
He's cool.
Nice guy?
Yeah.
Not aggressive?
No, not at all.
Not a domineering guy?
No.
He's quite a gentleman.
Well, not a gentleman, but...
But when he's not trying to get in your ass, he's a perfect gentleman. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He doesn't hit you. He doesn't raise his voice.
Not at all.
He's not aggressive.
No.
And what if you tell him, listen, I don't enjoy it this way?
Well, I tried to tell him, and he got really angry.
I just thought you said he doesn't get angry or aggressive.
Well, he got angry at the fact that having anal sex bothered me, having to have it.
I see. So he had just cause.
Yeah, it seems hardly a reason to get aggressive with somebody.
Hey,
just expressing a preference.
Jennifer, are you sure he may not be just a little more aggressive than you're letting on?
No, he's not.
Okay.
That's it's just.
If he gets angry when you
tell him, or that it feels uncomfortable when we're doing it, then sex stops completely. We don't even finish.
He gets angry at that point? Oh.
He doesn't get like.
Okay, hey, Jennifer, maybe he's not the prince that you think he is.
Oh, I know he's not a prince.
Well,
I know, but you explain to him when he's penetrating you rectally that it's hurting you or uncomfortable, you don't like it, then he gets pissed off and stops.
Very aggressive.
And not a great guy.
Maybe your sense of what aggression is off. Maybe you don't perceive it normally. He sounds very aggressive.
Leave him before you start walking funny.
Yes, listen, Orson. He has more backdoor experience than anybody in Hollywood, and let me tell you, that is no easy chore. There's many guys who are vying for the crown. Bruce Valanche, we were talking about that. He's been making a run at Orson's crown for years now. Orson is.
He likes to do business with an old established firm.
79, he came this close within a breath from taking Orson's crown, but Orson fought him back one more time. All right. I always get the feeling that guys that are really into the back door are a little bit aggressive, and part of the reason they like it is because it's a little bit of a humiliating, aggressive act, and their girlfriends always defend them, except for lo and behold, when they can't do it, they get pissed off and get aggressive.
Yeah. I don't think I ever heard anybody sneeze on the radio before. That was good. I liked it.
It's a personal low for Drew. He doesn't know he's on the radio. we'll take a break, and then we'll theoretically be back on the radio.
Roger, you got yourself the Loveline. Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla. We'll be right back.
Got a problem? Tell us.
This is Loveline on 98 KUPD.
All right, well, we're out of time. Go see Orson Beans play. He's doing it for free because he loves his craft.
It's called The Swan, and you look under Critics' Choice in the LA Times tomorrow.
All right.
Alex Enberg is in it, Shiva Rose, me.
All household names to our 14-year-old Stone listeners who fell asleep 10 minutes ago. Catherine and Spike, thank you very much for coming in. Being John Malkovich, everyone go out and see that. Find out what the buzz is all about. And until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
I'm grotesque.
This has been Loveline. The views expressed on Loveline are not necessarily those of the staff, the management, or the sponsors of this radio station. These are probably not the views of Westwood One Entertainment. Loveline is produced by Ann Wilkins Engel. Now, please listen to this station longer.
Magazines rock.